people? Welcome to another episode of Hoops Hustle Podcast. It's your boy KJ.
And it's JB.
We've got the playoffs now around the corner, but before the playoffs, we got to get into the play-in.
Now, I'm excited, man. And we've got 4 good teams on either side on both conferences, so it should be a good play in either way.
I'll say there's 6 good teams altogether in the play-in tournament.
Is it 6?
I feel like now there's definitely 4 on each side, but I'm saying Atlanta and Chicago, they don't even deserve a mention.
Yeah,
but
I'm not really worried about them.
I feel like this NBA season's been decent, you know.
It's been a good season.
How you found it?
Yeah, it's been a good season, man. There's been so many high moments. We've got some low moments, got some funny moments. Like, I feel like it's been a really good season. And it's been competitive as well.
I like the fact that you said competitive because, I feel like the level of competition this year has been through the roof. I feel like if you look at, especially the West.
Oh, man, the West is a bloodbath, bro.
Like, bloodbath, because you got seeds from number 1 all the way through 10, at least 10 games over 500.
Even like the way Houston Rockets have been playing, the Spurs, who were terrible, they still had some competitive games. So,
and they got arguably shouts for Defensive Player of the Year on the Spurs team. But like looking at the 10 teams that were involved in the whole play-in and even playoffs, you can definitely tell that the West is definitely a bloodbath.
No, fact. But let's get into the matchups. So starting tonight, we got the Western Conference playing matchups. We got the Lakers taking on the Pelicans, and then we got the Sacramento Kings taking on the Warriors. Let me hear your thoughts on those matchups.
You know what? Especially because, you know what we said with the West being a bloodbath, it can go either way because you can have Lakers playing to lose so they don't face Denver in the first round.
Yeah, but I'm not even trying to hear that, man. I feel like you need to take care of what you need to take care of. You don't want to put it in the basketball god's hands because that's how you face OKC in the first round.
I think your better chances is just winning straight away and
100%.
facing the first round.
100%.
Because you got Sacramento Kings who swept you throughout the playoffs, and you got Golden State Warriors who got the most lethal shooter ever made.
Exactly. So with the Lakers and Pelicans, who are you picking? I'm guessing you're picking the Lakers.
You know what? I think because AD, I don't know how much AD would get because he went down again with another back spasm.
It's like clockwork, man.
But I think I'm going with Lakers. I think LeBron is just going to give you a performance to be reckoned with. Yeah,
I would agree, to be honest, because the Lakers have had the Pelicans number this season. They're 3-1 against them this season. For whatever reason, the Lakers really seem to get up for that matchup. Zion Williamson as well. He doesn't really perform well.
He doesn't show up against Lakers.
Yeah, because I feel like they have someone his size to defend him in LeBron James. So he takes that matchup personally. I do feel like the Lakers are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like it has been this season because it's hard to beat a team twice in a home building.
Yes.
Because there's another home game for the Pelicans. So.
And you got BI coming back.
Yeah.
And even though he may not be fully fit, but...
Yeah. He was also playing good as well in the last matchup. He was on a minutes restriction, but he was playing well when he was out there. So it should be an interesting matchup. But I do see the Lakers winning the game and facing Denver in the first round.
Yeah. I feel like Lakers will definitely win this game because they really want to face... I feel like they want to face Denver in the first round. I feel they want to get the monkey off their back and get rid of it in the first round.
Personally, if I was on the Lakers, I would want to see Denver in the first round. That's when you're most healthy because you don't want to go through 2-3 rounds of the playoffs and then have to face them. That's when you're most healthy. You know what it is against this team. They've beaten you the last 8 times.
Yeah.
You've played each other. So, and I would definitely like to face Denver.
I feel like that factors into it. The fact that they've lost the last 8 times, I think the fact they got swept in the playoffs last year and the fact that they won the chip at the end and then saying, who's your daddy? I feel like LeBron's... Because you know at the beginning of the season, they were saying,
they were talking a lot.
Nuggets.
Yeah,
I think now's your time.
AD was talking a lot. He was talking a lot. But let's move on to the second matchup because we have the Sacramento Kings facing off against the Golden State Warriors. Now, that's not going to be an easy matchup for the Warriors because even though Malik Monk and Kevin Hart are both out that game, you already know that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are going to try to do everything they can to win that matchup.
Mate, I've got my popcorn ready for that matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be a high intensity.
You got Sabonis, Draymond Green.
Yeah. And but Sabonis needs to get his get back from what Draymond done to him last series. Obviously, we all know that the Warriors beat him in 7 games and a heartbreaking 7 games last year. So they'll definitely be motivated. But saying all that, I do think the Warriors are going to win that game.
The thing is, it's very tight because, like you said, last year, Sacramento took them to 7 games. And so, because this is a 50-50 game, like anything can actually happen.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's one of them ones where, yes, if we're looking on paper, Golden State, in my opinion, have the better team. Because you got Steph, you got Clay, who can shoot for any at any given moment, every given night. But because it's 50-50, you just never know. De'Aaron Fox can just turn up for 50.
Go off, literally. Yeah. And that's what I love about the playing. Like, anything can happen. So even though, yes, we're saying the Warriors are going to win, but even Sabonis, like, he's had a great season this year as well, quite underrated. But when he goes up against Draymond Green, Draymond does have his number. So can we just get one performance from him, giving me like 30, maybe even 40 points?
I think Sabonis
for one
trying to get his
game.
lip
All
back.
we needed to do is just one game. That's it.
Sabonis wants to get his lip back.
You can tell he does. But again, I just think the Warriors, they've been there and they've done that. And the Kings obviously being hurt. And we're saying that one of the Kings players could go off. Steph could just go off as well. Like, you saw what he done in Game 7, 50 points.
50 points.
So he can just easily go off as well. So
Some people's bedtime's coming real soon.
night for real. But okay, so if the Warriors beat the Kings, and you're saying obviously the Lakers are going to beat the Pelicans, who do you have in a Pelicans versus Warriors matchup for that 8th seed? Now, the Pelicans just beat them without Brandon Ingram a few days ago. And that was a big performance as well. I feel like that was not a statement game, but a game where people can say, okay, this team is now ready to compete.
You know, I'm low-key going with Pelicans.
I'm slightly leaning Pelicans as well.
Because I feel like...
I don't really like agreeing with you so much, but I feel like you understand.
When you know IQ, you know the thing. I feel like Golden State, they ain't got nothing for Zion. Like, even though we said like Zion may have troubles against Lakers, I actually feel like when you look at Golden State team, you ain't got nothing for Zion.
I mean, Draymond did guard him quite well in the last game, but I feel like with the Lakers, it's like a mental thing almost with Zion. But I feel like he doesn't have that against the Warriors. CJ McCollum and Klay Thompson were going at it in the last game as well. And obviously Brandon Ingram being there, I don't know, man.
I feel like it's an added bonus. So they've got good defensive players and Herb Jones and
they do.
a couple other players. So for me, it's
and
like...
Trey Murphy's been shooting lights out as well. So
that's why I feel like Pelicans, again, it's a 50-50 because like you said, Steph being Steph, he can go for 50, he can go for 60. But I feel like when you look at the whole squad, I feel like there's more unity in that whole Pelicans team.
I do think the Warriors, which is weird to say because they're so hard to guard because of Steph, but they do rely on Steph so much, it makes them a bit easier to guard as well. And I feel, I don't know, the Warriors, they've had obviously a great season from Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, since he got moved to the bench, he's been balling out as well. I think he's back in the starting lineup now.
See, that's another thing. I feel like Golden State, they don't have a clear-cut lineup going into the playoffs. I feel like when it comes to playoffs, you need to have, okay, this is my starting 5. This is my 6, 7, 8
who's
rotation.
getting those minutes.
Because especially now in the playoffs, the rotation doesn't go beyond 8 or 9 if your team is stacked.
Facts.
Like, it's mostly going to be like 7, 8 players.
And a lot of Warriors fans, they hate Steve Kerr right now. Like, if you look through the comments, they're always talking about his mismanagement with Steph. They're always talking about his mismanagement with Steph's minutes, playing the wrong players at the wrong time, not playing players who should be playing. Kind of like Darvin Ham, basically. So
I feel like you can't put them two in comparison because for me, Steve Kerr is definitely a top 10 coach of all time, if not top 5. And I feel like now he's sussing out his team. He's seeing, okay, cool, what players do I have? What players can get me going? And I feel like comparing it to Darvin Ham, that one's just a scam for real.
Although, what I saw from him in the Pelicans game, in like a must-win game, he did coach a really good game. He was calling out timeouts when he needed to call them. And funny enough, when you go back to last year in the playoffs, he actually did well in the playoffs. Apart from when he got to Denver series, he started playing lineups that shouldn't be playing, but that's a whole nother story. So you're saying that the Pelicans are going to beat the Warriors?
I'll say it's 50-50, but I'm just edging slightly.
To the Pelicans. I can see that. But let's move on to the Eastern Conference now, man, because, man, even though people are not really talking about the Eastern Conference, because obviously all the news is in the West, we still got a big matchup between Philadelphia and the Miami Heat. That's going to be a great game.
For me, that one's a tight game.
Yeah, very tight game.
I feel like if you look at the play-in, I feel like there should only be a play-in for the 7 and 8 seed. Whereas I feel like the 9 and 10 don't even deserve to be mentioned. But yes.
But what do you mean?
Like Chicago and Atlanta, they deserve to be in this whole contention.
Yeah,
it should just be Miami and Philly in the playoffs automatically.
Really, true. Yeah, I agree with that one. But Philadelphia and 76ers, because obviously Embiid's now come back. He's still looking a bit overweight because he missed how many months now? That's to be expected. But he's still putting up numbers. But you also have the Miami Heat, that dark magic that they always seem to pull out of nowhere. It's not going to be an easy game for Philly to win.
And I think if you really want to push in this playoffs, you kind of want to be that 7th seed. You don't want to be that 8th seed because you'll be playing Celtics.
Yeah, you'll be
in
playing
the first
Celtics.
round.
Yeah, true. Because who's 7th? You'll be playing the Knicks.
Yeah.
If you're 7th.
And I think both Miami have a good chance against the Knicks. I'm not too sure about 76ers as of yet.
Yeah, because obviously
based off health.
Yeah, but do you know what I would prefer? I would prefer if Philadelphia win, they go to New York because Philadelphia versus New York. I feel like MSG will be beating MSG playing the villain. That would be amazing to see. And then obviously Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics.
And you know how New York and Philly don't get along.
Exactly.
Miami and
that'd be a perfect matchup. And then obviously having the Miami Heat playing the Boston Celtics. Already know those two teams are just always battling. And Miami Heat do have their number as well. I feel like in the East, there's one team the Celtics don't want to play, and that's the Miami Heat.
I don't want that early though. I want that later.
Let's get it cracking round 1, bro. Let's just get it cracking round 1, man. Let's start off nice.
So who do you think will win that 76ers Heat?
Man, it's a hard one, man. Because the Sixers have been playing really good basketball.
Yeah.
But again, how healthy is Joel Embiid? Because again, he left the game early the other day, again, due to injury. Even though he's healthy, but it's how healthy is he? I do think, I don't know, there's something about the Miami Heat this season. They just didn't seem right. I'm not too sure what it is. And again, we know that they like to turn out for the playoffs, but I think I'm leaning towards Philadelphia.
See, this is where we differ. I feel like I'm leaning more towards Miami Heat.
I mean, I can see that.
Reason being is the health factor. I feel like if Joel Embiid had like 10 games under his belt, coming back from this injury, then cool. I think I'll definitely go 76ers. But I think Miami Heat, they've got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Bam Adebayo. You got playoff Jimmy's now about to come out. You got Duncan Robinson, who's made improvements on last season.
Tyler Hero's come back as well now.
Tyler Hero's come back. You got a good one of the, for me, top 5 rookies of this year in the Jaime Harkless.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So for me, it's like
even Scary Terry as well.
Yeah, exactly. The addition of Scary Terry. So I see the Heat winning this one because I think Pat Riley wants them to play against New York, his old team.
Ooh, I forgot about that as well. And the Miami Heat did beat them in last year's playoffs as well. So I feel like the Miami Heat going into whatever, if they obviously do make it into the playoffs, I don't feel like they will be thinking, we got this team. I feel like they'll have confidence playing any team.
And knowing any Pat Riley team, they definitely got the confidence.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we've got to talk about them. The Atlanta Hawks versus the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I think this is one game I'm definitely just watching highlights.
Yeah, probably. I think the Bulls are going to take that. I think the Bulls have been a better team.
I think all around, because you've got Kobe White making some decent improvements
this year. This season, actually.
You've got DeMar DeRozan, one of the most clutchest players based on stats this season.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie, I don't want to see either team make it into the playoffs.
I don't think either team will actually make it into the playoffs.
Because either way, they're getting swept by Boston.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see the Miami Heat and the Sixers make it into the playoffs. We need to see that. As basketball fans, please let it work out like that. Please.
But who do you think will win?
Again, I'm picking the Bulls to win that matchup. And then I think the Bulls will then go on to face... Again, I said Sixers, so I'm leaning... So I think the Bulls will go on to face the Miami Heat, and then the Miami Heat will beat them.
Oh, they'll have their dinner.
Yeah, they'll have them. Although, the thing is, like, with the playing, like you said it before, all you need is just one big performance. Well, obviously, if you're on a 9-10, you need 2 big performances, but just
I feel like with Heat, in terms of that one big performance, I think the Heat can't lose to both Bulls. Definitely not against Atlanta.
No, I don't think they'll lose to Atlanta.
And the Bulls, I feel like playoff Jimmy's a different thing. And even if he's not playing well, you've got Jaime Harkless, who's been playing well this season.
But will he do in the playoffs, though? I mean, he's a rookie.
You got Duncan Robinson, he's
been there. He's done well this season.
You got Scary Terry. So I feel like they've got a good plethora of players.
Yeah, true. Even Bam as well, man. Offensively, he's taken some strides as well this season. So, I think the Miami Heat, even if they lose to Philly, they will end up beating one of those other teams anyway. So, I'm not too worried about that. Hopefully, we can see, obviously, them play Boston because I really want to see that matchup. I don't know, with Boston, they've been the best team in the regular season, 100%, but there's just something about them when it comes to that fourth quarter that I just don't trust. So I need to see it, man. And I feel like Miami Heat, if they do play them, will be a great test for them.
The Boston Celtics did end their season a little bit shaky. Like they have been winning games. Yeah, they got the number 1 seed across the whole NBA, but they were moving a little bit shaky. So I do feel like they need someone to ruffle their feathers a little bit and get their act together because facing Denver, even though Boston right now are probably my early favourites, we'll discuss it later on in the week, but facing Denver, you got to get an A game up.
You have to, man, especially when it comes to the last 5 minutes of a game, because the way Denver can execute in a basketball game, it's just nothing like I've seen from a team in quite a few number of years. So we'll see.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
With Caitlin Clark being the #1 pick this year in the WNBA draft, how do you feel like she's going to take the WNBA?
I think she's going to come in. I'm not saying she's going to do what she did in college, but I think she's going to come in and make a big, big impact.
I agree.
Like, people are saying her game's not going to translate well. Yes, she's playing against grown women now. It's going to be much harder, obviously, compared to college. But when you can shoot from as soon as you step over half court, I'm sorry, that just doesn't leave you. So I think her, and obviously she's going to be paired up with Aaliyah Boston as well. That's what I mean. The pick and roll, I can imagine guarding that is going to be crazy.
Yeah. So. I think when you look at the difference between a men's game and a women's game, I think the fact that you played 4 years in college, it makes you better prepared to play competition. Like, yes, she was destroying kids in college, but I feel like the transition over into the professional game, I feel like she was seamlessly transitioned into it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Sabrina, for me, Sabrina was one of those, she was kind of hyped around when she was in college. And then when she went into the WNBA, straight into it, like eased into it, made it to the finals last year.
Yeah.
Obviously lost to, for me, Aja Wilson, the best player in the league right now. But I feel like Caitlin Clark will easily transition into the WNBA.
Yeah, I think she will do well. And I'm just loving where the women's game is right now. Like, you know, back in the day when you used to, not even back in the day, let's just even say last year or something, you used to look through the comments, just see like dumb little kids and their dumb responses when they used to post about women's basketball. But now the women's game got how many millions of views? Was
it like 18 million views in the finals?
Which is higher than like the NBA finals, like literally the most watched.
Do you know what's so funny? I was talking to someone the other day about what we do on a pod, innit?
Yeah.
And they were talking about the women's game. They were like, right, like you guys talk about the women's game. I was like, yeah, why not?
I'm like, bro, I like basketball. Like, I love watching the sport, men or women. And the way they're performing as well this season, just taking it to new heights. How do you feel like Angel Reese will do in the women's game?
I feel like, because she's a centre in college,
she
definitely, I don't think she'll be able to compete in terms of as a centre.
Yeah, I think she might struggle a little bit.
She needs to readjust. I would say she's going to struggle. I think she'll have a good WNBA career. I just think she needs to readjust her positioning in the game.
She reminds me of like Draymond Green, because kind of like the undersized centre. She's more like an undersized centre, essentially. Because when she goes into the WNBA, she's basically going to be like a 4 playing centre, essentially. So will she make that kind of impact defensively against bigger women, more skilled? Like, let's say someone like Aja Wilson or someone like that. It'll be interesting to see. And she needs to work on her shot a lot.
Well, she's been working with Chris Brickley, so...
I mean, yeah, but people throw up highlights with them all the time, and then they come into the league and you get it. Like, no one misses in that gym, so... Yeah,
to be fair, I think she'll have a good W career.
I hope so, man. Like, because the hate she gets, like...
But it's undeservedly so, though. Like, why is she getting this hate?
Because she beat Caitlin Clark. That's literally why.
Fam, you gotta win.
Yeah, I know. That's
she had one thing over Caitlin Clark.
And obviously the taunting, but that's basketball. Like,
ring me.
Yeah, that's basketball. So people take that to heart. You know how it is in America, very racially divided kind of thing. So yeah, but you know who you need to watch out for though in the next few years is Juju Watkins.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching her games next year.
I was watching. From like midway through the season and on, I was watching all their games. She is cold.
And she's got a level head on, because I've been seeing a couple of interviews of her, like just talking about the game, talking about her love for the game. And you can definitely tell that she's someone with a good level head, someone who loves the game. Because like looking at her style of play, just so effortless. Like she has one hezzy that's like, oh.
It's the nasty, like, fam, she's doing pro moves in college. The one thing I would say about her game, she needs to, kind of like Caitlin Clark, what I really like about her game, yeah, everyone looks at the scoring, but she can pass the ball as well. Like, she's kind of reminds me of like Luka, where she carries the offense so much, where she's passing and scoring. I feel like Juju Watkins needs to work on her passing a bit more, getting her teammates involved, because a lot of the game she does shoot like 20-something times, innit?
But that's something you have to give her time.
100%.
Because 100%. This is her freshman year.
Yeah, like she's like 18, 19 years old.
So she's only, think about how much she's smart. She knows the game, but now she's gonna learn the game at a whole nother level.
That's what college is for, anyway. So yeah, I think when she's
definitely breaking all of Caitlin Clark's records.
Yeah, easily.
Like all those records are already been broken.
Yeah, easily.